everyone. This is AM Healing My Soul TV, Vicky McClifty speaking, and I'm speaking today with Michele Keenan, who is one of my panelists for the show. And Michele, her business is Spirit for Success Coaching. Welcome, Michele. How are you?
Hi, Vicky. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
That's good.
So I just wanted to check in with you. What led you down this path to actually do what you're doing, Michele? You're doing Law of Attraction coaching. What actually led you down this path?
When I first started to look at coaching, Vicky, it was at a time when I was feeling a little bit lost. I knew what I wanted in my life, but I hadn't really quite found it. I had lost my mother about 12 months prior, and her situation in life was very different to mine. She ended up being quite an unwell woman in her later years, and when she retired from a very high ranking position in corporate, she became quite ill and never really enjoyed her retirement at all. And eventually that led to her passing away. But that was really where I started to stumble and fall, because I realized how much I heavily relied on my mother, and I also, my parents for that matter. And I also saw a woman that really loved life and was really looking forward to when she finished work.
Yeah.
So when she didn't actually get that enjoyment at the end of her working years, I thought to myself, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not following in those footsteps. I believe that there's a better way. There's a much more fruitful and purposeful way of life. Not to say that she didn't have a beautiful purpose in her life, but I wanted different. So I looked at, and I always have had a love for the law of attraction, and I would always have success when I applied the laws of attraction, but it was never consistent. And I don't know how it popped up, but something popped up in my emails, and it led to the Christy Whitman coaching school, the Quantum Success Coaching Academy, and I just clicked the button and decided to become a coach. I also come from the beauty industry, and I have been a trainer teaching women to work from home in their own home-based businesses and to be successful in business. I've always had my own, not always had my own businesses. I have worked for other people, but the majority of my working life has been working for myself, and quite successfully. Some businesses have not been as successful as others, but in general, pretty successfully. And what I noticed from working in the beauty therapy industry and working with training women in business is that there's a lot of women out there that don't trust themselves to step into their power and to really claim it and to take recognition for their achievements and their, how they can, and learn how to reach their goals. So that was when I started out in coaching. That's where I started to really find myself in working with other women and really bringing forward, their beautiful, letting them realize that they have this beautiful inner essence that really can become very expansive, especially with working with universal laws and what you can tap into using your intuition and guidance and all the lovely things that we've learned through the QSCA.
Yeah, so the law of attraction, can you explain how that works with people? Say if people are in depression or grief, how would the law of attraction help them move out of their situation, their current situation?
Well, I think in that current situation, it's a very sensitive situation. And when you are in a place where you're grieving and you find yourself with nothing more, you can tend to really take it on board that everything's very unfair. Not it's a real grieving process, isn't it? I mean, I've been there with my partner. I've been grieving. I had grieved with my partner Max passing, and that was 6 years ago. For me, that was a very sensitive thing. And I think if you start looking into the law of attraction and you see that we do work with joy and that we have so much love and we are born into love, I feel that we can then start to really delve deep into our souls and just mirror other people and learn that there's happiness and joy. It's a process. It's definitely a process.
Yeah, I think when you mentioned before that you relied a lot on your mum and dad, like when they were around, I mean, my experience too is that you don't really, you are seeking happiness sometimes from people around you rather than going internally. And I think that's the real,
you've got to get into that really soul level of belief, I think, and compassion has a lot to play. I think compassion for yourself has a big play in it too. I think once you start realizing that, you know, we attract, and if we stay in sadness, we can, you know, really attract more sadness. So if you take your tiny steps forward, you can really start branching into seeing life in a, not that you ever forget that, you know, the sadness, it always does hit. But you can have the beautiful love as well.
Did you find that really the law of attraction really helped you, like when you lost your mum? Had you sort of...
Oh yeah, definitely, big time.
And your partner?
It gave me focus. I really sort of, with my partner, I didn't really delve much into the law of attraction for those reasons, but more so with my mother, because I'd also, you know, I've lost a couple of very special people in my life, my partner and my mum and my auntie, and I think it just came to a point where you just go, I've really got to, you know, start looking at life differently and expecting that there are beautiful memories, and knowing that there are beautiful memories, but expecting more from myself. In bringing forth joy and happiness.
And I think that
you affect other people as well.
You're affecting everyone around you. And I think once you have that awareness of the law of attraction as well, it does give you hope, doesn't it? Because
absolutely,
you can be so stuck in that depression and that grief. A lot of people are really stuck.
And you do connect. I think you start to connect on a different level with people that have maybe gone through the same processes as yourself.
Yes,
as you and I both know.
We certainly do, Michelle. So whereabouts are you going with your business? Like, what's the next step for you?
Well, it is always about empowering women. It's at the moment, my focus is on retreats for women.
So what's that going to involve?
Well, we've got a retreat coming up shortly in July, and I'm partnering with another woman, a beautiful soul sister called Michele Keenan. Same surname. But we connected many years ago online through another company that we both worked for, and we connected on a soul level.
Right.
So I do call her my soul sister, even though there's probably around about 20 years difference in age. And she's been working with horses for about 27 years.
Oh wow, horses, they're just so beautiful, spiritual.
So what we're going to do is we're going to bring horse portions into our retreats. So what we're offering women is a workshop type environment with the horses. That will be Jess's component of the retreat.
Yeah.
And for my component of the retreat, it'll be more about the spirituality of living, and I'll be introducing meditations and teaching women to trust their intuition and just
sounds wonderful.
Step into their power.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. It's set in Queensland and we're extremely excited. Rural Queensland.
So how long would they go for, the workshops?
What we're doing is, for the retreat, we're holding a 2-day retreat.
Okay, right.
But the workshop itself, which I'll be going up to take a look at and participate in, is in a few weeks' time, the end of May, and I'm going to be looking at how Jess teaches women how to work with leadership and trust and really experience their own self-help. And it's excellent too on the grieving side of things as well for women. If I can just explain it this way, Jess doesn't really need to know anything about the history of the woman or the person that's going through depression or anything like that. And that's the reason why she took on facilitating these workshops, which are the first of their kind in Australia. So it's a very exciting, step.
Yeah, and I love the whole idea of someone who's grieving and depressed who can actually have a couple of days away from the everyday. I know myself, going through my own experience, that I had to leave the house to get away from the sadness because there was too much there that was reminding me of,
absolutely.
I only got a couple of hours, or maybe 4 or 5 hours if I went off to work, and then I came back to that sadness. And I think if women can get out of their sad zone and actually head up to something like your retreats, that what you're having, and then have a whole couple of days where they're really just unraveling all of what is inside, it gives them more of an opportunity to actually break that sadness.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I was the same when my partner passed away. Because we had shared the home, and just to put it, we had separated, and there was always that determination that the relationship would come back on track, but unfortunately he got ill, and but we still shared this home. And I found that quite true, Vicky, that you had to actually walk away from the home. I actually thought that I would move. I was preparing to move because there were too many memories. But then I stayed, and I learnt to live with myself, by myself. And I believe that those retreats are fabulous. They give you a rare insight into, your deeper, truer self, which is what's needed at that time.
It is
a complete going in, and without being insular.
Yeah, because you would have had to have started all over again, and so many women that are left, with their husband or partner, children, whatever, whatever's happened in their life, and all of a sudden everything falls back onto them, and they've lived their whole life around these people, and then all of a sudden that's taken away from them, and it's not just the loss of the person, it's the loss of the life that they thought they were going to have. So, you thought you were going to have, another how many odd years or forever with your partner. I know that you'd separated, but it's just that whole loss of what you thought was going to happen. And then with the law of attraction coaching, what you get with that is, you can start planning ahead again and visualizing a future for yourself, but you need to first connect with who you are before you can do that.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Definitely.
And you need to face those emotions, and it's unfortunate. It's not like take a pill and it's going to go away.
Exactly. And our emotions are the things that we send out to the world that vibrate back to us exactly what, we're sending out. So if we start to learn to look and trust and take on different emotions in our life, then we do end up with that beautiful joy returning.
Yeah, and if they stay stuck,
a little tiny slither of your heart.
Yeah, but if you stay stuck in that grief, that low vibration, of course, grief is the lowest, isn't it? So that low vibration will only draw more negativity to you, and you'll just be stuck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really cool. So, what do you love most about your work then?
I love the connection. I really love the collaboration with women and the connection. And I really am passionate about watching women thrive in life. As I said, watching my mother not experience that and knowing that it's so possible that and I think that's where the beautiful universal laws come into our world again, and not just the law of attraction, the law of allowing and the law of pure potentiality. When you realize, and I think especially nowadays with the beautiful connections that we have all over the world, through the internet, and like you and I connecting as we do through Skype and Zoom, you realise the potential. You realise that women can have it all, and you don't need to be stuck. You definitely don't have to be stuck.
No.
Every opportunity. And when they say to you, and I love this belief, and I'm such a big believer in the law of attraction, it's totally a belief. When you look at your life and you know that the universe loves and adores you and it has your back, really, and I guess when you're in that place of sadness, that is a beautiful way to look at life.
It is.
That the universe loves and adores us and has our back. And when you put that to the test, and when you put it out there, you realise that is exactly what it is. Exactly how life is in every way. It becomes playful.
I think that grief can actually it can be a positive thing in your life. Well, for me it has, because it woke me up to the universe and it woke me up to a whole different way of life. And it doesn't have to be a struggle.
And that means, and it also too doesn't mean that it takes away from the grief that you had or the
No.
You just learn that it's not the be all and end all of your emotion or state.
Yeah, it's creating a new life, really, but I know I have days, and you most likely do too, with anniversary and Mother's Day coming up, and you have their birthdays and everything, and you still go back into that sadness. You still feel it very deeply, but you don't stay there. It's like you do it, but I think you look at it from a more appreciative point of view, that you actually are so grateful that you had them in your life and that you experienced that love. And
that's actually sending shivers down my arm and my back. It's actually a little tear, but yes, that's exactly right. And then you release it.
Yeah. And then you've got this, you've always got that connection, that heart connection with whoever you've lost in your life.
Absolutely.
Because that's what's made that person as part of who you are today.
Absolutely. And you wouldn't trade that for the world.
No. So you get more appreciative, I think, and more grateful as you get on in years as well. But then you need to have that open.
I don't think it's so much the year. Well, it is obviously the years, but I think it's also the years that time heals.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, time heals. And yes, you do, and you do think of them often, and that's so beautiful. And your memories become softer and sweeter, and you can laugh.
Yeah.
Memories.
In the early days, you don't feel like, I can remember I felt like my face would crack. I couldn't even bring a smile to my face, and yet that's who I was all the time beforehand. I was always having a laugh and that, and it took me a few years, but then I hadn't discovered the law of attraction that stage, and it really was what turned my life around. Yeah, law of attraction did. It was just incredible, the shift that occurred when, if people feel like they're not being supported in any way.
So you found the law of attraction after the passing of Adam. Wow. That's special.
Yeah. And I thank him each day now for what it's introduced into my life, because I didn't have that support system. I didn't have, like, I grew up with a family that they were very scientific, didn't believe in any sort of, when you die and that's it. And so for me, it opened up a whole new world. And doing the law of attraction, it blew me away with the, just the knowledge and practicing it, and what actually happened in my life. And that's what's led me to this. And I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be having a TV show and talking about this sort of thing. I mean, it just wasn't on my agenda, which is what I think is so cool, because, we're just normal people, everyday people, discussing things that everyone experiences, and yet no one really wants to talk about it. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing with other people what grief is, and and how we can help, because we all need to connect, and I think that's been lost somehow in society in recent days with the internet. A lot of iPhone usage and emails and text messages. I think people tend to forget that they've lost that contact with others. It's not quite the same as having a phone call or, visiting with people, is it?
I agree.
Visiting
with people, and that's what I enjoy about being a single woman as well. I feel that I bring a lot to the plate when I'm coaching other women. I see things with different eyes, a different perspective, and I love being out with my girlfriends and the connection that we have. And that for me is huge. Like, I do business coaching, and I show women how to attract the right clients to their business, and work with business canvases and everything like that. But it is also, for me, very much, I'm like, I guess I'm spiritual without the woo-woo. I love everything at a soul level, and I think that that's really important too when women come from a corporate background. If ever I'm working with someone from corporate, because it's so cut and dry, everything's just black and white, and it's a man's world.
Well, that was pretty much my world before Adam passed away, and it was being a mum running around after 5 children, and I was totally disconnected from who I was. And I think a lot of mothers there and I was working, so a lot of mothers in particular, I mean, men are different, they're a different kettle of fish altogether to we women, but
they are.
We as women will put our children first all the time. And I know for a fact that everything revolved around them, and I was like stressed out all the time trying to get them to events, sporting things, school things, assemblies, you name it. I was going to all of those things, and I actually lost sight of who I was. And it wasn't until I was hit over the head with this grief, with losing my son, that I actually had to connect. It forces you to connect with your heart, because you're going through such deep trauma and grief. You have to listen to your heart, And I did, and I thought, wow, man, what have I been doing over the last 20 odd years? I don't even know what I like. I don't know who I am. And there would be so many women in the world today that feel like they're living their lives in a...
Absolutely. I totally 100% agree. I realised that working in the beauty industry, you know, giving women facials and they'd be coming in with gift certificates because someone had decided that they needed spoiling, whether it was Mother's Day or birthdays or whatever.
Yeah.
And you'd be in a treatment room and discussing things and, you know, talking with them, and you'd find that that was definitely just all it was going to be. It was going to be the treat for the day because they were too busy with their lives, too busy, you know, with their kids, too busy with work. And that 1 hour, that it, as much as it was a gift, it probably wouldn't happen again for a very long time.
And they probably felt guilty at the time because they should have been doing this. Or
yes, and I just thought, wow, isn't that such a... If you really stopped and listened to yourself, you deserve so much more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that time out. You only live once. You're
That's
given
right.
a gift. You live once. You're given a gift. You're given the gift of life, and that's apparent in our... Like, as I said, the universe loves and adores us, and as we learn more about the law of attraction and what it can offer, you realise that, you know, those beautiful, bright, sunny, blue days are a gift, and those walks along the beach or along a bush track or in nature is really very powerful, and we so totally deserve it.
Yeah, and how beautiful is it?
After.
Yeah, and I know when we go to the beach and sit on the beach and just take in the smell and the ocean and the ocean, listen to the waves, and there's just a real magic about the world, and you know, everyday life, you will just miss it. You know, if you're not tuned in, you'll miss it. And it's so important, I think, for people to get out and actually just go for a walk too.
Especially when they're feeling at their, you know, lowest.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky that I live very close to the beach, only a few streets away. But as winter comes, I find that I do get a little bit depressed. I always know when there's a grey sky will affect me.
Yeah.
I find that I need to get out a little bit more on those days and just experience life, because they can bring me down. Just little things like that you pick up on when you've gone through those grieving processes. You know what to look for and how you can deal with them on those days, those empty days.
Yeah, no, that's really good. So what advice would you have for women that now, like for, say, who are ready to actually move out of this, you know, where they are at the moment and follow their hearts? What advice would you have for those women?
My advice is to do it. Follow your heart. Your heart, I don't think, is ever wrong. I think that when you listen to your heart, and I mean truly listen to your heart, it will steer you in the right direction. And life, as we both know, is very short and unpredictable, and you never know what lies ahead. So why not make what lies ahead your best life ever? It's
a gift, isn't it? Life is a gift, and we have to learn how to nurture our lives, I think, so that we can enjoy it rather than...
Absolutely. I always remember my mum saying to me when she was very, very ill, when she retired, we were watching a television show, and I can't remember the person that was on there, but it was a man, and he was an entertainer, and he was talking about life and how it was bigger than big, and what a fabulous life. And he really loved his retirement tears. And she sat back and she said, that was how I was hoping that my life would be after I retired. And I will always remember her saying that, and I'm thinking, oh, that's such a regret. Really, you know, something that you sit in that bed and you think about. And that saddened me a little bit. I thought, well, not a little bit, quite a lot. I thought, oh, my mum, you've just done so much.
Yeah.
Everybody else, you have missed out on what you were waiting for.
You don't
taking it on at the time that you could have.
Yeah. It would be the worst thing to actually have so many regrets if you know, lying there ready to go to the other side, and man, I wish I had done this, I wish I had done that.
Because I think a lot of people too think that think of regrets as being major regrets. You know, like, I wish I hadn't have been a bad person. I wish I had have treated my wife better. I wish that those really torrid things. But really, there are many regrets that people can look upon in life as that they, you know, get to that part in their life where, you know, it's their time to move on into the next world. But those regrets, they can be changed. It's all a matter of choice. So I think that that's what we need as we do, and with your beautiful show that you're setting up, that's what we can achieve by spreading the message and the word. That it doesn't have to be that way.
No, you've always got a choice, haven't you?
You can always have that future vision of being a beautiful life.
Yeah. I think you know, some people get stuck in playing the victim, you know, if they've gone through and they've lost, like, you know, I could have just hung up my boots, so to speak, and given up on life after losing my son. And it's been one of those things for me where I think that I got to a stage in my life where I thought, I can't handle this anymore like this. What is the point in being here? I either give up now or I choose. I knew I had to choose the good way. I had to choose happiness, because, you know, I still had 4 children.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you can't live like that. You can't live your life. It's the most miserable state that you can be in when you're in grief and depression. And just knowing that you've got that choice. You don't have to be like that. You can still have that sadness and still remember that person, but you've always got a choice to actually make something out of it and make it worthwhile. Like, to me, I'm making my son's life count. This is why I'm doing this show, because he was always there for his friends. He always looked after his friends and was always pursuing happiness. You know, he just wanted to be happy in his life. And I thought, well, why don't I just do that? You know, and so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. He's pushing me along, kicking me up, trying to get going.
And I think there's never a truer way of looking at those sort of situations, is that how would they feel that you were stuck?
Yeah.
And they're on the other side having a ball.
Yeah, but then their hands are tied. They can't, like, they can throw as many things at you to, you know, like the universe can throw so many things. And if you're stuck in that horrible, depressed state, you're not going to see any of the opportunities
that they're urging you on to see.
Yeah. And then, you know, if you met them at the pearly gates at the end of your own life and they said, geez, I wish you'd have, you know,
what were you thinking when you were doing that? Come on, look at what's here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting that you can actually share that knowledge with people, and I'm really excited to have you up on the panel, Michele. It'll be it's going to be great, and I really look forward to the future with AM Healing My Soul TV, because I feel like we'll be able to get the message out.
A beautiful message, and so needed.
Yeah.
So really desperately needed by a lot of beautiful humans out there.
Yeah. So what I think as a final message is that you know, this show is here as a portal for people to be able to learn how to tune into themselves and find that joy again in their life and move away from the grief and the depression. And it's, you know,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I think, you know, as a final point is to nurture the gift of life of what we have and make the most of what's to come in our lives and live every day as if it's your last, really.
Regardless of the situation.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining me today, Michele.
It's a pleasure. It's been lovely.
Yeah,
it's
everyone
really
will
beautiful.
enjoy our panel. We'll be able to answer questions and help people along the way. So, yes, that's the end of our little show today. So, thanks for joining us. And until next time, nurture that gift of life. And just remember every day, pause to think that you're connected with your heart every day. Follow your heart and life will be a lot happier for you. Until next time, bye now.